Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Friday, the 30th of June, 2014. Friday and 13th, for luck or whatever. Some others have got Tuesday 13th. Over here in the United Kingdom is Friday the 13th. So, where do we stand? This is the 22nd overview of the shipping markets by John FARACLAS from allaboutshipping.co.uk in London. We have warned a long time ago about the markets, conditions and preconditions, realities, but few have got the message. Tonight, we pause and recall the discussions we have with many of the stakeholders down at Macedonia, people from all over the world that joined us there in various discussions, that we engage them and see what they're up to. Very few people have got the message, and we are, as recipients of this message, making the continuation of our analysis to all intents and purposes to support everybody, if possible, in the shipping industry. Now, let's see the figures of the dry cargo, which are diving further to the detriment of those who, since last year, they came out in the press and expressed their views of a very nice 2014. I wonder, even if they are paying this media, even, because there's otherwise, or whatever, do they hide behind all these very interesting and very nice market predictions? To begin with, the market is going down, and all the analysts, they have failed, unless they are paid on purpose to say things that they never come out. So, I have to remind the world that 35 years ago, there were 400 banks, financial banks and institutions, lending money to the shipping industry. Today, there are only 40 left. We repeat this for the second time. And I said, the turn of the funds will come if they don't carefully assert the situation. Okay? Now, we include also the stock market as well. The stock markets, we have some exits as well, and there's more to come. The market is very bad. There is cargo, there is business, there is a lot of competition though, hence the freight rates are very low. In this site here, you have read last week the amazing articles that this medium has put forward through the powerful pen of James Brewer. All the industry sectors that were analyzed to the fore following the very successful Capital Links conference, and that proves our thinking of what is going to happen. Evaluating the market is one thing, and the result of this valuation is yet another. Now, the BDI closed down 13 points yesterday, Thursday. It closed down to 906, which is 83 points since last closing of the Macedonia closing day, which was 989. So again, we are below the 1,000 point mark. We've been struggling, if I may say so, to see the above the 1,000 points of the Baltic Dry Index. It only happened for a day on Monday at 1,004 points. Now, the new barrier is the 900. If it goes down, it's going to be a very big issue. If it goes up, it won't go up for what people are expecting. So we have a down market, which is 1,321 points. I repeat, 1,321 points on descending order, which is the difference between the closing of December, the 227 December 2014, and today. This is nearly 59.3% drop of the market. Again, the worst start it was for the last 30 years. Now we are halfway through the year, and the market goes further down. The BCI closed down also 62 points. Since yesterday at 1,730, which is 63 points since last week, 1,793. The Panamax further down 53 points to 582, which is 145 points since last week, 727 points. We call this the Boeing fall. Again, far below the 1,000 mark. The BSI further down 12 points at 748, which is 54 points since last week, 802. Again, this sector below the 1,000 points. The BSI, again, a fall at 459 points, 6 points down, 26 points overall since last week. Again, another sector, the fifth sector overall, below the 1,000 points. As for the wets, same more or less like last week, with 635 points, which is -2 since yesterday for the Baltic Dirty Tire Index, and a stable cleans the DCTI, which remained at 5 to 6. So it is an important issue. Despite Petro Poroshenko meeting with Vladimir Putin, things are getting offhand in Ukraine, and particularly in the Eastern Front, and many things are going to happen. It's one thing, trying to have the West supporting the East, but the West does not have, in my view, in my humble view, a coherent policy to mount an all-out support in Ukraine. And the more they do, the more Russians in arms, like the song Brothers in Arms there, are there, the separatists or the criminals like Kiev calls them or brands them, they will go for it. Caution is important, and they will go for it. They have down already a military helicopter, and who knows what's going to happen. Fierce fighting is happening, and it looks like that the port of Mariupol finally will be under Ukrainian rule. But we shall see what will happen at the end of the day. In Iraq, as the late Admiral John Danny Theophanidis have mentioned in the past, for many, many years ahead of the Greek frogmen and special forces who did operations in Iraq himself and his men, and he explained to me what is going to happen. Verbatim, Admiral Theophanidis' words came out to be true. If anybody has a different view, let him or her come live on television, okay? Danny has also went afterwards, after the war there, as a civilian for business, and he asserted me, he intimated to me what is going to happen. And it happens every single day. God bless you in your major trip, Danny. That's very important. Iran is trying also now to intervene to help its own brotherhood and regain these areas there. It's going to be a very big melee. I don't know whether this can happen. The subcontinent with India, Pakistan is in a mess. And now let's come to more serious issues. China opens more fronts of discontent in the Far East. Now the target, as it has been from last year, is again Japan. And all the bordering nations of China, they are in tatters with China. Vietnam to begin with, the first classes are there. We're going to see a lot of things. Now, for us in the shipping industry, this is very crucial and important, as the three major producers, builders of ships, namely Japan, Korea, and China, are all in the Far East. Is it in time we really protect our vested interest as well as our economies in the West, and in particular in Europe? If it's going to be a mess there, it's going to be a mess there in all fronts. Okay? So, if we don't like to see things spilling over and to have other issues, I suggest, and why not? The myth that the Western shipyards in Europe, even in Greece, are expensive, it's a myth. And I maintain my view. Again, now I provoke whoever likes to come live on telly and tell him or her why building ships in Europe could be even cheaper than the Far East. Okay? If you don't know how to build a ship, come on. It's serious. So, anyway, let's not argue more. We have now in Brazil the World Cup, which is going to give us many surprises. And already it started. We see the first surprises, which, are really shocking, and there are more to come. Stick on us. We are the medium of the truth, of business truth and analysis, and we're here to support the shipping industry. This is John FARACLAS from allaboutshipping.co.uk, Friday 13th. It was also a full moon. Over and out.